Hey guys, and welcome to the video. This is American Psychedelic with my first video. This trip report is titled Blue by You by Blue Boy. Several years ago, I experimented with DMT. I was introduced to this chemical through a friend of mine who was heavily into shamanism. Over a 12-month period, I smoked it 4 times, with every increasing doses. My friend recommended that I work my way up to the spirit dose. This was wise because even in smaller doses, it can be a frightening experience. On my 5th journey, I found them, or more accurately, they found me. I've since read accounts from McKenna and Strassman's subjects. I guess my experience was similar, though I didn't perceive myself as being inside a structure. Rather, it seemed that the spirits were all around me. Wherever I looked, the swirling patterns trigonomified into the isolating things which clearly acted independent of my own thoughts. At least that was the overwhelming perception I had. I can't really describe them. They were infinite in their own complexity. I can see why people are convinced that the entities separate from their own minds. It's inconceivable that anyone can imagine such. I don't know what you would call them or it. Anyway, I was there, whatever the hell it was. And all of a sudden, each one of my fingers was connected to a spirit. Here's where it gets really strange. There were thousands of them near me now, and the millions in the distance, though if I looked at the distant ones, they zoomed up close. So the next thing I know, each hand has thousands of fingers. I had complete control over each one. Like we can move our left index finger, I could control left finger 4,624. It was like I was a conductor. They were dancing and flying in accordance with what I did with my super hands. Sound and sight seemed to merge and shift. I was conducting an orchestra of the millions. There was a lot of other stuff too, but I have never been able to recall it. My final memory is being in absolute nothingness, except for one spirit. As I looked at it, it started to isolate, so I was looking at myself, or what I perceived as myself. I was changing form 1,000 times a second. The oscillations became faster, and the spirit wanted to know who it was. It wasn't asking in words, but I knew what the question was somehow. I said, I don't know. This conversation went back and forth at an even greater speed until, at the same time, we were both saying, he is you, is he, is you. Then the words converged into hue. Literally, it was blue. I became the color blue, a psychedelic play in words. I was a frequency. Then the spirit rushed up to me from the other side of the galaxy, laughing. He had a present, like a normal box with a blue ribbon, and he said, "What's your favorite hue?" Next thing I knew, I opened up my eyes. The extra freaky element was that I had turned my head around and was looking straight out the window at, you guessed it, a clear blue sky. Once I had met them, or myself perhaps, I certainly don't aspire to the liberal idea that DMT is a conductive to contacting aliens. I decided not to do DMT again. I've experienced total and absolute fucking out of there, and I'd be scared if I did it again, that I wouldn't make it back. I don't think that there would be a more intense experience. However, I never imagined I'd have experienced what I did either. It's amazing, but a word of caution, it isn't a fun party drug. Some people want to go skydiving, and that's cool, but this was like being a super ball bouncing around the universe. At that time, it really was too much. The final freakiness? At certain times of the morning or afternoon, I look at the sky and get this deja vu feeling. It's just the right shade of blue.